Hey everybody, I'm DeoGenZ, and welcome to my Pokemon Crystal walkthrough. On today's episode, we're going to be traversing down Route 38 and Route 39 to see what it has to offer. Just a little foreshadowing. Experience points! That's right, guys. At this point in the game, the Pokemon Company is throwing many trainers at you. So this is a perfect place for me to spam experience points on some of my lower teammates here, like my Pichu, for example. But since my lower level experienced Pokemon are not the sweepers per se, it's going to be sped up on this episode, as usual though. And we're seeing more trainers have evolved Pokemon. I'm thinking about evolving my Cyndaquil, but we'll see. For now, I'm keeping it as it is, preventing evolution to gain a stronger move. But we'll see how long I can tolerate that, because my team is pretty unevolved, with the exceptions of my Arbok. Fly into the sky, my beloved bird Pokemon! The sky must be high if it thinks it knows what's going on. Because Chew is the one to battle for you. Yeah, see, Chew can't even battle on its own. And the reason I'm so cautious with my Pichu is that in order for it to evolve into a Pikachu, it utilizes one of the new mechanics of the second generation games, Gold, Silver, and Crystal, which is friendship ratings. Now, if you recall back in Goldenrod City, near the bike shop, there was a lady who would rate your Pokemon's happiness, tell you if it trusts you and if it will actually be coaxed into evolving, because Pichu, in order to go in a Pikachu, needs to trust you and be friendly with you before it fully evolves. And then of course from there, it's not just a simple level up evolution. Oh no, it's a Thunderstone we need. But hopefully on this route, as you can see by the borders, there are Magnemites, and there is a potentiality to receive Thunderstones up ahead. So we'll have to see what happens. But another Pokemon that you probably could have experienced a lot earlier in the game, other than a Pichu, that also came from an egg, ironically, now that I think about it, is the Togepi egg that I decided to put in the box once it hatched. But it's the Togepi egg from Violet City that you gain early in the game. In order for it to evolve into a Togetic, or Togetic, however you want to pronounce it, it has to be friendly with you as well. And unfortunately, no, the third evolution phase, Togekiss, was not in this game. Although it would be certainly interesting to see if someone did a resprite coloration in Gold, Silver, and Crystal palettes of a Togekiss to see what it would turn out as. I'm guessing pretty awesome. Pretty bossum, like the music on this route. I know that currently you're not hearing the music on this route, but Route 38/39, because they share the same track, is definitely some of my favorite music in Crystal. Usually I have on my Droid a selection of video game music, and it depends what I'm in the mood for. I rotate around. Often I listen to the music just to pacify me until I can play the game, just at a matter of time, really, when I have the time to play it. But often I have this track of Route 38 and 39 on my Droid at the top. And also Eevee. Eevee also gained potential. It gained 2 new evolutions, now that I think about it, due to friendship status. And I'm not talking Facebook here. But because the friendliness attributes and mechanics were worked into the second generation, not only could you evolve into the stone evolutions that Eevee once portrayed and still does, and remember that Thunderstone, guys? Well, talk to this Dana lass here, and hopefully she will call you later to give you a Thunderstone. But you need to get her number first in order for that to happen. So if Pichu is ever going to evolve into a Raichu, or maybe remain a Pikachu all his life, we're going to depend on that lass back there for a Thunderstone. But you also could have used Thunderstone on Eevee to make it go into Jolteon, Firestone on it to make it go into Flareon, or Waterstone for Vaporeon. And I only highlight this because I know that there are a lot of different and new Pokemon players to the franchise who may be just coming in on this retro LP and being like, what is this? So I like to update everybody. But Umbreon and Espeon were not only able to be achieved through friendship, but it also took advantage of new features in Gold, Silver, and Crystal, the day and night cycles, which at the time were pretty freaking revolutionary. I mean, when I first experienced this game, truthfully I hadn't experienced the other games, the first Red, Blue, and Yellow, beforehand, so experiencing this right off the bat, I had the highest expectations with the color palettes and everything, and it was phenomenal. But I could imagine people's amazement switching over from that Game Boy game over to Game Boy Color, and all the floods and rainbows of colors that were in Gold, Silver, and Crystal. And with that came day and night cycles, and by raising your friendliness and having it level up at night, you would get an Umbreon. But if you did this in the day, Eevee would evolve into Espeon. So the friendliness mechanics and day and night cycles really did play a big role. But for some reason in the next generation were half dropped. And I say half dropped because I'm pretty sure that the friendliness mechanic was still enacted in Ruby and Sapphire. However, I know for a fact that the day and night cycles were taken out. And that was to the discontent of many passionate Pokemon players. And I think that was one of the contributing factors that made the Hoenn region less desirable in the eyes of the mass Pokemon player. So that's just my hypothesis on that. But really, I think they were just trying to mess around with different mechanics and see what they could enact. And at that time it was weather. So, you know, they gotta try and tamper and experiment with different things to see what sticks. And now, in the 5th gen, we have not only day and night cycles, but we also have day and night with weather. Although I still have the sneaking suspicion that they haven't quite nailed weather down. The only reason is I never notice it raining in certain towns and on certain routes, really. The most time that I saw there being aberrant weather, that being thunderstorms and rain, was when I was chasing the Thunderos and Landros, whatever duo around Sinnoh, or not Sinnoh, but Unova region, rather. That was the only time that I saw weather really change. And going back to a game like Diamond and Pearl, certain areas, I would notice, were locked down to a certain weather effect, like the marshlands. It was always rainy there. I could understand it always being rainy because it is marshlands, but all around the other places of the Sinnoh map, rain never shone. Rain never shone. Rain never showed up. Not shown. Rain shine! Could be a new kind of 6th gen move. Mr. Poof used rain shine, and he's dancing in the rain. I tell you guys, Mr. Poof will be a vital player in the future. He will actually be better at taking out opponents than he is now. It's an unorthodox grass-type Pokemon, I will admit that, and I did that specifically for the challenge, just because I've played Pokemon so many times, specifically Crystal too, that I want to experience it in a different way, in a new light, while doing an LP of it. So it's like a fresh experience for me, while it is an educational one for you guys, and my excitement for it is fully renewed. I couldn't not be excited about Crystal, though, honestly. But as far as raising my Mr. Poof goes, I could have easily raised a stronger grass type like a Bellsprout, or even had gone for more of a challenging starter move like Chikorita. But Cyndaquil was my first in Crystal, and Crystal being my first game, it's a large nostalgia trip for me. So obviously I have to go with that one. But seriously, I think that once I gain Mega Drain in the version of Skiploom, when he turns into a Cotton Poof, and that's what he's named after, then I think we'll have a lot easier time taking down opponents. And for now, he acts as a good supporter with his Leech Seed and Poison Powder, so it's not much of a problem. And here is something that a lot of people, I know I personally missed it on my first time around Crystal, miss out on, but it's repairing the Moo Moo Milk Farm. And I'm saying repairing the entire farm because this one Moo Moo here, it apparently supplies the entire farm with its milk supply. So you have to have, I think it's about 10 berries it takes to reheal this milk tank. And they're just normal berries that grow on trees. But off camera, and while you guys didn't notice, I was collecting these berries, and now Moo Moo is all better. So now we ourselves can get some Moo Moo milk. Just like that. Bessie's all healed, and she's instantly producing milk again. It's this farmer's pride and joy, and for the low price of 500, our pack is full, but he could give you Moo Moo milk. And it's really a good repairing item. I think it does 100 hit points of restoration power. So, it's a very good item. But a lot of people use their berries just as an item in battle, which is totally fine, and it's a good strategy for using the hold item mechanic, which also, that's something I forgot, but it makes Gold, Silver, and Crystal that much bigger of games, is the hold mechanic of items. This allowed items to be transferred back and forth between players, so they could not only trade Pokemon, but items that were very useful, and also allowed players who were very much Pokemaniacs like myself to have 2 cartridges and then trade back and forth with myself to gain extra items like Master Balls and things of that nature, and also do trades. But, yeah, the item mechanic, that was a big one too. It really made the second-gen games for the portable consoles of Nintendo to be really one of the most revolutionary, in my opinion. So make sure when you come down Route 39, you've got a good store of berries on you. And if you don't, you can always go back and forth between berry spots. Right at the beginning of Route 38, if you recall, at the earlier part of this episode, there was a berry tree. And it only accepts regular berries, berries that reheal hit points, not Prezunker berries, as I humorously used to mispronounce them when I was younger, and not apricorns at that matter either. Okay, so he just got back from Olivine, and that's just where we're headed, guys. So let's take out this last sailor on Route 39 and call it a wrap for this video episode. Episode 19 of Pokemon Crystal. And in the next episode, we will certainly be going on to Olivine to investigate what kind of gym occurrences are going on. And if we can find our first, why was I saying first? If we can find our 6th gym badge, I believe it is at this point. Or if we're going to have to go around and do some side quest first. I have no idea, but we'll see when we get there. Prince Dozo, named after my other Slowking, who is a beast in wall EVs. With Curse raising its defense and attack, it's kind of a mini King Dozo. That's why it's the Prince. And it has the same function on my Crystal team. Definitely love going back through this game with my enhanced basis of knowledge on the franchise overall, and actually having strategies other than just having the highest level. So I'll see you guys in the next episode. Adios.